Hello, hello. Welcome back to Wheel of Games. Be playing more A. Last time, got cut a little bit I was hoping to get a lot further through the house, but my outer room decision turned out to not be a great one. Did not find any way to replenish my stamina the whole time, and I was forced to use stamina instead of gems. Turns out I didn't want that. Instead, start every day with the hopefully very transformative outer room over here. Really good idea. Okay. Trading post, you can trade items. Ah, we heard about the shrine last time. I don't have coins to make an offering right. Honestly, I feel like the shelter I might not take that often. I guess since I always come out here first, shrine, I just hope I'll have the stamina to come back later on. Let's take the shelter. I feel like the shrine is something I would take. In the shelter, we can see if there's anything interesting down here. Give it a... Safe? There's a computer down here. Oh, time lock safe. Fitting. It's a unique picture. None of the other ones have been in. Aha. Remain where you are for now. With the Red Guard. Blueprints. Red Guard is due tomorrow. You've agreed with your plan and have disabled remote access to the other terminals and have sealed the network mainframe. Regardless of the danger, I'm still not willing to risk removing shelter, where we are, from the draft pool while the three of you are down there. Best bet is to sit tight and hope for a little bit of luck. Interesting, so if people are hiding out within the mansion when the day resets, what happens to the people who are inside the room that gets undrafted? Bomb shelter terminal. You know about that? By setting an unlock date and time. A date and time that's at least 1 hour into the future. I think we keep seeing clocks out there. So we need to know what today's date is. Well, it's November. It's like, I think November. It's in the double digits at this point. Oh, I just go down there and then back. Yeah. Okay. Radiation levels in the house around. They are spiked by the experiments. Oh, interesting. So if we increase the radiation, all doors in the house automatically unlock? Does this mean 0.0 or 0.11? But it's 0.11. And again, that's 12 micro S. So I presume that really is 0.11 in comparison to 12. Is this still the same password? Okay. So we have seen clocks in the house before, and that time passes. But I don't think there's any clocks down here, unfortunately. So we can do down here. It's not going to say, by the way, what time is it? There's shelter at the top. Maybe I just didn't notice shelter was one of the options. So yeah, if we went somewhere where we did have access to a clock to see what the current time is. Let's tell us the date? No, it's just day 8. We should be able to figure out what the day is. Day 1. Just know how many days it's been. This is interesting. Okay. Okay, I think in the entryway, it gave us some signed information. Also in the mailroom, I think there were indications like I know that our first day was a Saturday, but let me see if any of my notes have a date indicated in them. Nope, didn't think I would need to know about the literal what day 1 was so that I could add more days to it. Okay, well now I guess have a reason to find that out. So it must be at least 1 hour into the future, and it'll only stay open for 4 hours. I do recall the days pretty much start around 9 a.m. So if I knew what the actual date was, I could just do this right now, just sit here for a bit, because I know the time will. So a little frustrating I don't have that information to hand. It's something my character would know. What is today's date? I feel like the first day might have been the 11th, so my guess would be November 19th, 1993. I know the year, but not the date. And then I could set it for like 12 p.m. and just sit there and wait for it to open. 3 o'clock in the way. Any of these, anything actually dated here? Looks like no. Let's see. Interesting. See, it's roughly 9:05 right now. It is ever so slowly moving. Solve everything. We're gonna open west, north, and then choose which way. Well, we want gems today. That's also full of clocks. It's just taunting me. Room. I don't think this is a hallway closet. I might take the storeroom, just because it's upgraded. It's got so many things. This. Out to the north. Bedroom would increase our stamina. I kind of want something that'll go to the right. Entry's not particularly great. If I'm planning to get back out to that shelter, the bedroom's not a bad bet. Myself some money. You know, we already have something that goes west of that room. I'll take the spare room so that we have more overall. Now we go to the west. And read absolutely everything. Try to get some idea of what today's date is. I'm sure it's been on something that we've seen. That west corner? Ooh, the lab. Well, we now know that if we can do an experiment thing. Let's see, the lab has to be connected to the boiler room, which is going to be really hard in this corner. So I guess I'm just going to take the nook here. Mailroom would not be bad. We can get some kind of package and still explore, but got a couple of... Mailroom it is. Also, I think the date might be on this letter. Because this is where it said, like, today is Friday, right? Currently in the garage before we depart. I'll forget to tell you Friday night. This doesn't give us a date. About this. Hey, we've got a lockpick kit and a couple of gems. Well, a real early lockpick. Thank you very much. And some gems. Excellent. Not a 149 there, but these don't actually have numbers. I assumed that the safety deposit or the vault... Well, you know what? We've actually seen a vault now, so I guess the vault key is not the thing that I thought. Already got that one. There's... it's in... Still looking for something that has a date. We can go north from the den. Courtyard? I mean, everything is going to take me to the left. Courtyard almost always has some kind of a tool. It'll have dig spots. But the parlor, I can pretty much always get a couple of gems out of the true-false puzzle. Everything only gives me a left turn here. I think I'll take the parlor in this circumstance. Just stock up on gems as much as I... Oh, see... coin purse. Not that often that I actually get 3 or more coins. Puzzle box key. And let's inspect the puzzles. The gems are in the black box. Oh, literally nothing. It cannot be true or false, which means one of these is true and one of these is false. The gems are in a box with a statement. In other words, this is saying the gems are not in the white box. Okay, this one's tricky. So, if the gems really were in the black box, this statement would be true. This statement would be true. But this statement cannot, there is no statement, so it cannot be false, which means this statement cannot be true. Because then you would have 2 true statements. And since this is the first time we've seen something with nothing, there will always be one that displays false statements. And it says displays only true statements, but that also implies having a statement. So, if one of these is true and one of them is false, then this one cannot be true. Because, again, if this was true, if they're in the black box, this one would also be true, and there is no false box. Therefore, this box is false. The gems are not in the black box. Since this is nothing, this statement must be true. The gems are in a box with a statement, but we know that it is not the black box, because this one is lying. Therefore, the gems are in a box with a statement. There's only one left, it is the blue box. Yay. Keeping up the streak. Well, you know, we already got an item in this room. Okay, going to the west wall. West Wing Hall. I will take that over the chapel. It's not charging me gems for this one. At least I get to go north from... Nook is just a dead end. This is reminding us that West Wing is was Lady Clara Ep7. This was her favorite area, which is why saying basically that was her favorite area. So she has sort of rooms dedicated to her will show up over here. Here? Ooh, patio. Well, in each green room, there's only one option there. Going as far north as possible, it is kind of said we shouldn't do that. I wonder if this spreads the same amount, so they would all come to the patio, or if it's like add 1 gem to each green room. In which case, this would just take care of itself. I think maybe I take the bedroom here. The spare room connects, then I'll never come through here again, but if it doesn't, then this gives me a little bit more stamina. You know what, the patio's a new room. Let's see something new. Get our gem. Oh, more dirt. Oh, there's our gem. The shovel. That actually tells us about digging. I had to learn about it from the glossary. There's some more of them. No shovel, though. The only thing we got was one gem, so it looks like it was, in fact, one gem per green room. So that was a waste. But, I mean, hey, we finally learned about digging. Just north of... Actually, the garage is like one of the middle ones on this side. Oh, going east now. Nursery, dead end. Main drawing room, better than hallway. Hallway doesn't cost us a thing, but at least we have a better shot at not getting messed over in this next area. I've got the gems right now. Give me a shovel in the drawing room for some reason. Doesn't even have the time, but it's roughly 10:15. Only I knew the date. I think it would be worth just abandoning a day to open that time lock safe. Okay. So we'll get a free redraw out of this one. Don't have stuff by with that. The corridor would take us straight across, which is not necessarily the worst thing. It does block off the spare room, so it really gives us a terrible path through the house. Commissary forces us north, and we want to explore east more. Guess maybe we can try to fill in more to the east before we go north, where things get a little bit tougher. I've got something at least this okay. I'm okay not redrawing. Stuff in the... Okay, now I need something good. Well, this was almost a disaster. Dead end, dead end. Pantry that goes back to the south. Oh, at least we got some coins and some stamina. Still nothing that week. Second. Back any change and leave it in the pantry. Ah, got it. That's why there's always 4 coins. Coins are left over. I really need a left turn here. Oh. Well. Observatory or bust. We have today. Up to 6. Is it made up of 2 different? Oh. Chests in the entrance hall and diamond. So we really do just get more stuff. Interesting. Let's save up day 6. It doesn't. It just goes up to 7. Pulls are better. Then 9 and 10 looks like they're copies of other stuff. Day 12 is apparently gonna suck. The last time I will check to see if there's any secrets up here. Just the wheel that lets us adjust. So we desperately need something that goes to the north. We got a nook. I don't mind losing out on the commissary here. We need to go north. Okay, must have something that goes straight. Boy, get 2. This is one of my most pathetic houses yet. I should have gone north from... Oh boy. Any of these things gonna tell us what day? I'll set something shelter. This book is going to tell us what day it is. Okay. Well, we know there's chests that are meaningless in the end. It's almost 11. I was at the outer point right now. Set the day I think it is. The second, but this is very old. No, I can just go back and rewatch my day one thing. I think it might tell me the date in the intro, and then I can add a week and go for that. Oh, car key. That'd be useful if I've. Okay. So it is just past 11, so I'm going to run out to the shelter, set the timer for 1 p.m. I'm going to explore my very first video, then see if I can figure out what date it is, because it's now day 8, so it's just add a week from whatever it said. I'll go get it right now. Okay. I went scrubbing through all of my old videos. It was in episode 2 when I first unlocked the terminal that this is why I thought it was currently November. Because the staff announcements said, no one else has access to the network this month except you, Simon. So if you're reading this, just know we're all rooting for you. So Saturday, November 7th. And we saw in the note from our dad that it was, I think, Friday, and we were packing up because we're going to be arriving tomorrow. So I believe day 1 was Saturday, November 7th, which means if we add 7 days to that, it is now November 14th. Is day 1, then day 8. So if day 1 was Saturday, it's now the following Saturday. So, I'm gonna get back in here. And I had this paused, but let's see, I also realized that there's a big clock on the outside there. Since I'm not using the stamina for anything else, let's make sure that time was not passing while I was looking at the old stuff. So, yeah, well, the hour hand says it's not quite noon, but the other thing says basically 12:05. So I'm going to set the timer for 2, so November 14th at 2 p.m., and then I'm going to basically sit there, pause the recording, and wait for it to unlock. Or that, or I can fast forward it. But now I think I know what the date is, so at least today won't be a total loss. Into here, time lock safe. Lower than that, so November 14th at 2 p.m. Now, get to sit here and wait while 2 in-game hours pass. I mean, since I've got the extra stamina, I could go watch the timer so I don't get surprised, because I know it'll stay open for 4 hours. So at least I will know when to come back in. So from your perspective, the clock's just going to jump ahead to 2 p.m. and then we'll walk back. 15. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're only a couple of minutes away in game time. That did take quite a while. Real time to go through. So, about 5 minutes away. We can wait for it down in the bunker. There. Yes. Got the date. Can't click on that other. Just 7? Dear Uncle, the disappearance of my cousin Mary has long sat unfavorably with me and my father. I will freely admit to you that the airs of indifference you may have felt in my presence can be attributed entirely to the suspicions that I've harbored for the suspicions entirely aimed at yourself. I'll have to reference the. Let's see, who has a cousin Mary? Okay, looking at this, do we see Mary? Oh, Mary is right here. I thought Mary was our mother. Interesting. Is she missing? Throw my. Start this. While I have never had the opportunity to prove it, I felt very strongly that you had some deeper involvement in those events 4 years ago. Fading rumors of those months did nothing but further reinforce convictions. Those of us that are once bitten are twice shy. Aware of the cost my aggressively aloof behavior has had on the social standing of our family. Do not apologize. I am now willing to admit that the conclusions I reached may have been flawed. Last week I had a confidential conversation with one of our mutual acquaintances, a conversation that has shed more light on this mystery than all of my father's countless fruitless inquiries over the years. I now have reason to believe that you were in fact responsible for smuggling my cousin under cover of night across the red border to the southern seafront. I believe this may have occurred in September, a full 7 months after she was reported missing, a date that coincides not with her public disappearance in February, but instead with the notable theft of the Ruby Crown. If the Blackwater insurgents were in fact responsible for the heist as some have claimed, I believe the scenario entirely plausible. And the fact that 2 of the Crown's 8 rubies have now surfaced has given me renewed optimism that she is still alive. Alive, safe, and finally free. Perhaps my willingness to accept such a sensational story betrays my own desperation. Desperation for answers, desperation for hope, desperation for a narrative in which you are not the villain. Distant land we all dream of, the land where the strangling crimson curtains draped across our sky are pulled back, and the windows and shutters of discontent flung wide open. In that distant land, I pray one day to find our Marion safe and absolved. So Marion / Now this is in a red envelope. I don't know what the 7 means, but perhaps that's one digit of a code somewhere. So yeah, Cousin Mary, and this is from Courtney. I can't take the things out of the safe, unfortunately, so I better make copies of all of these things. If I jump back to the family tree here, we've got Mary. Mary is somebody's cousin. And whoever that cousin was talking to her uncle, which I guess could be Simon? Not really clear on that. Could be one of these other ones as well. So we don't really know who that is. But it being in the red envelope gives me a lot of suspicion. But there was a ruby crown that was stolen. Interesting. And if this stuff is correct, events 4 years ago, perhaps that is the theft of the ruby crown. September, 7 months after he was reported missing back in February. theft of the Ruby Crown was after. That's not the events of 4 years ago. Okay, yeah, we really haven't seen much of any of this yet. So we have a whole bunch of new intriguing information and no context. See, this will close before. Okay, I'll make my. As I was taking the screenshot, I thought maybe if this letter is false, there could be other stuff that's like our Roman numeral 7 here. But there's also some numbers in here. So, for example, 4 years ago, then see, once bitten could be a number 1, 1, 2, but those aren't specifically numbers. So yeah, we've got 4 years ago, then well 7. This one is written out in number, and then we've got 2 of the 8 rubies. I'm wondering if that perhaps is 4728. Could be a code, because I know there were pretty much 4 numbers that were included in this letter. So I may have to write that down as another potential safe code for something. Yeah, there was a gem in there. Was it a special gem? Ooh, red letter? That mean I'll get to reference it later? I can click on it. Can't close that. Nothing else really in here, just the red guard is due tomorrow. Definitely is a lot of red versus blue symbology in here. But hey, we've opened the safe, which means we don't have to draft the shelter again. There's nothing else I could interact with. So that's going to do it for today. Relatively short episode. Not sure if I want to combine this with the previous one or make this one its own. But I think that's it for today. Sad I got a call today because the house closed itself off. Ah, there we go. A quaint cottage. I agree. Ah, and that's going to be it for today. So, till next time. Bye-bye.